There's a new spirit of provincialism around. Move the House of Lords to York, build the HS2 train line up to Birmingham and all points north at £100 billion cost, just so we can have 250 mile per hour trains. In many ways, it's commendable. The big bucks London elite have had it their way for too long. But it also displays a small-mindedness that is symptomatic of the new parochial worldview that is taking hold everywhere. So what? Well, let's just run back on that. They're moving the House of Lords to York or Birmingham. It'd be far more logical to move the damn thing to Birmingham. London, it's in London, and all the many of the Lords, I know them, who go in for an hour or less and claim their £300 a day expenses and then go away again. Delightful for them. God, wouldn't we all love to be on that gravy train? And they don't even have to say anything. They just nip in, sign, and go away again. So it's great for the old politicians club. Most of them are old politicians or businessmen who have in some way promoted the political parties. And there's a whole new swathe of them going in now. John Berco's going to get snuck in by Jeremy Corbyn. His own political party, the Tories, would never nominate him after he shafted them. He didn't shaft them, actually. He saved them because his intransigence meant that they won big time in the general election. So he did him a big favour, and he really smashed Labour. But that's not how Jeremy Corbyn views it. Jeremy Corbyn's grateful for his support over the Brexit issue, and he's supposed to be partisan. The Speaker of the House. He wasn't, was he? God blimey. But fine. Yeah. Well, I suppose it depends on your perspective, doesn't it? If you're a Remainer or a Leaver or whatever as to how you view Bercow. I am sidetracking. The point is we're going to move the whole darn kit and caboodle, the whole House of Lords, up north to support the provinces who supported Boris Johnson in the general election. Bless them, they need their reward. And actually, it's only fair play. It's ridiculous, the London-centric everything. I've moved out of London, so what am I to say about it? I reckon it's for the best. But it would be actually all this talk of York. York is one of the prettiest cities in Britain, and one of the ones which has the greatest history. But Birmingham would be much more logical because of the rail links. Birmingham is is like a hub with links to Manchester and the East Midlands and Sheffield, Leeds, and vice versa. Manchester and the West Midlands, Sheffield, Leeds, and the East Midlands, and down to London, fast links now. With our 250-mile-an-hour trains. What are we, blooming Chinese? What do we want those for? We're going to spend. It's going to cost £100 billion. 38 billion for phase 1 is the latest estimate, providing it doesn't creep up, and it probably will, from London to Birmingham, for demolishing all those homes and just charging in with a straight rail line that can run 250-mile-an-hour trains. Nobody needs 250-mile-an-hour trains, except the Chinese, but they can enjoy them. And then what? It's going to cost another phase 2, they call it. Well, phase 2A is comparatively cheap at $4 billion. That takes it up to Crewe, and then the rest to run that on to Manchester on the East Midlands and Leeds, going direct up from Birmingham in the other direction, vice versa, Manchester in the West Midlands, Leeds in the East Midlands, that's going to cost another 36 billion. It's nearly 100 billion, this crazy 250-mile-an-hour train. I mean, have you any idea how much money that is? What's the point? Well, we'll do it because Boris is in love now with the North. Fine. I think and the House of Lords will go. I think it'll end up going to Birmingham, but it'll go anyway. It'll leave London. It's not a bad idea. I remember Sultan Qaboos in Oman used to have his Meet the People tour, and he would take his government around the country, and I quite liked that. For a month, his ministers would disappear and with him and live in tents and move around from place to place. It did them a lot of good. But it's not a bad idea having a second assembly in the provinces. Second assemblies are not a bad deal. I mean, they are useful, really. They are a break on the elected representatives who can go a little wild now and again. So it's not a bad deal. It's one of the failures of Iraq that they've never had their upper house, which is provided for in the constitution, but the lower house are too selfish to allow it to happen. So, the second chambers work very well. You look at America. Trump would be out now if it were down to the lower house, but the upper house, the Senate, has the final say, and of course he won't go anywhere. You might regard it as a disappointment that the lower house doesn't have free. Lower house, it's democracy. Let them. But no, a second chamber is a break. We're going to have more elected members in the second chamber in the House of Lords, according to according to Mr. Cummings, who is of course Boris's Eminence Grise, his puppet master. Dominic Cummings. I mean, he has so many reforms, doesn't he? He's going to abolish the High Court, or at least they've already put something together that's going to look at the powers of the High Court and the Chancellor, and he is personally committed to abolishing the High Court. Can you blame him? No, they shafted him, or tried to, and over Brexit, didn't they? And he described his pet Boris as having misbehaved in regard to the Queen. Well, he didn't really, but you lied to the Queen. Oh, for goodness sake, how childish! He just tried to exploit the system like all the rest of these politicians. Anyhow, the point is that we have all this provincialism. In a way, it's commendable, and we're going to spend a blooming fortune on pleasing the... Well, why not? I live down in Cornwall. It's been neglected for years. The railway's no longer double-tracked all the way. You spend a fraction of that 100 billion on double-tracking the railways down to Penzance. I'd be grateful. God, we have awful trains. The new trains are just rubbish. So uncomfortable. Anyway, never mind. Why am I complaining? It's what it is. And it'll be nice to see property prices falling in London and the rest of the world catching up. Do you think property prices will fall? It would be a delight, wouldn't it? That was what the World Bank was threatening us with. That woman, when she was head of the World Bank, that French lady, she said, "Oh, don't do Brexit. Property prices in London will fall. Fat chance of that." It would be delightful if they did. Anyway, but what am I complaining about here? I'm not complaining about the provinces getting their shout, But I am complaining about the reason, which is this new spirit of parochialism, which is sweeping the world. We are becoming much more parochial. Now, maybe it's a good thing. Iraq maybe should split up into three, and you have a Sunni area, a Shiite area, and a Kurdish area. Parochialism can be good, perhaps, a force for the good. Let's divide up all these countries. Let's make things more parochial. I don't know, but I still have a dream of a world without frontiers, a dream of, the great Lebanese mystic Khalil Gibran used to believe. I often think of him in this context, in a world without frontiers. It would be better, wouldn't it? Can we have it? It would mean the free movement of people all over the world, and what would that do? Well, change us, wouldn't it? Our identities would be swamped. It's borders that keep our identities now. And maybe we need that. Maybe we need our identities. Maybe we need to be parochial. It's a tough call, actually. But ultimately, I'm a believer in the Blue Mink song. The world is just a melting pot. It's a sweet song. Look it up sometime. It's from the 60s. Basically the key line is that we could all be churning out coffee-colored people by the score. I think that's kind of the ultimate answer. I'm sick and tired of these divisions. I do want a spirit of inclusivity. Tired of hearing people saying, I'm Christian, you're Muslim, I'm British, you're, I don't know, whatever you are, Syrian. We all need to be one. One world, one future, and there are consequences, and they are painful. It means, culture aside, doesn't it? It means destroying much that we hold dear, but I think ultimately has to be the way. Well, at least the ways, that's my opinion. Not sure about yours. Okay, God bless. Bye.